I have 4 dogs.
I have 5 dogs.
I have 6 dogs.
I have 7 dogs.
You have 8?
I lost count a long time ago.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sid, and in today's video I am going to be talking about Ariana Grande's pets. But first, let me just say that I did water the plant in my background in my last video in honor of Jane Goodall. And now there is new growth. So that plant's name is now Jane, and I will continue to water it. So anyway, Ariana Grande has had a lot of dogs, and a number of them were rescues. And they have been a big part of her brand for a long time. They've appeared in music videos, been on talk shows, featured on the covers of magazines, and been shown all over her social media. Some of her dogs have even been named after Harry Potter characters like Fawkes, Sirius Black, Lily, and Snape. And in the Harry Potter movies, things can be made to vanish with the flick of a wand, which seems to be what Ariana has done to her dogs. So in this video, I am going to try and find out where they all went. Ariana might have moved on from some of her dogs, but some people definitely don't, like me. And when I'm doing all of the daily tasks of looking after my animals, I love having something to listen to. That's where today's sponsor, Pocket FM, comes in. I first found the app while looking for something to keep me company during those long pet care routines. And that's why I've gotten so hooked on audio stories lately. The show I can't stop listening to right now is The Duke's Masked Bride. It's got the same kind of drama and twists as some of the wild celebrity pet stories I talk about on my channel, because that is what keeps me listening. I usually only plan on listening to 1 episode, but before I know it, I have blown through 3. The mystery keeps pulling me back in. The chemistry between characters is so intense, and every episode leaves me needing to know what happens next. Honestly, I did not expect to get so hooked, but now it is just a part of my routine. If it sounds like something you would like to add to your routine, click the link in the description box to try Pocket FM for free. So anyway, back to talking about Ariana Grande and her pets. So the first dog she got as an adult is a Dachshund Shepherd mix named Coco, who she adopted in 2010, and she was immediately making it known that she had this dog. She made Coco a Twitter account, she made appearances in her music videos, YouTube videos, and was all over her social media. She even talked about her in interviews and mentioned a time when she dug a hole in a bed.
My Coco, she's a very mysterious lady. She's always in her room. Like they have their own room. One day I'm with Scott and we go into the room and we lift the duvet and there's a literal, through like the mattress and the feather top and the thing, a hole to the center of the earth. I was like, this is tight. You've been like planning some dope ass escape.
Even though Coco was digging in and making a den for herself, she had to be moved out. I'll talk more about where she moved out to later on in the video. Some of these dogs, like Coco, I will introduce first, whereas other dogs I can just wrap up in one segment. The next dog she got is a dog that I will be able to wrap up in one segment. In 2013, she got a Chihuahua Beagle mix. She saw him at an animal shelter and immediately wanted him. At first, she wasn't sure if she was going to be able to keep him, and tweeted that she fell in love with him and would name him Toulouse if she could have him. She was allowed to have him and named him Toulouse after a cat in the Aristocats. A few years later, in 2018, he even won an award for being the cutest musician's pet. He also appeared on the front cover of Vogue with Ari. Other than being known for that, he was known for being a little bit reactive because he would bark at people in public.
Oh yeah. Go get that nice man.
He would also sometimes bark or growl at people that came into her house. One of those people was a longtime friend of Ari's and her brother's, Colleen Ballinger, who is also a YouTuber.
Are you having a moment? What? The look I am getting right now. Are you okay?
But barking at Colleen is totally acceptable because she's gotten a dog killed before.
So I grabbed my dog for no reason, just grabbed the dog and pinched its skin and dug my nails into it. The dog yelps, turns around to protect itself and bites me in the face. And they were like, what happened? And I was like, the dog just bit me. And then they had to put the dog to sleep because the dog was dangerous to be around. So I murdered a dog.
Fortunately, Colleen didn't do that to Toulouse, and he was able to later become a service dog for Ari. He wears a service dog collar and is able to be with her at all times, even when she enters restaurants or stores that would normally prohibit animals from entering. He is also one of Ari's only dogs who are actively in her life on a regular basis still. She celebrates his birthday publicly on social media and travels everywhere with him everywhere she goes. A dog that wasn't able to go everywhere with her was the next dog she got. Later in 2013, she got a Labradoodle she named Ophelia. She then started an Instagram account for her 3 dogs she had at the time, called Ophelia, Toulouse, and Coco. But Ari's mum, Joan, ended up bonding with Ophelia more than Ari did. Whenever Ari would refer to Ophelia as something negative, Ari's mum would not be happy about it.
Oh, ew. Here, Isaac comes with that villain.
Ariana, don't talk badly about Ophelia.
She's a villain.
To Toulouse, Ophelia may have been a bit of Evelyn because she was not getting along with him.
No, Ophelia's okay. She's just not very nice to Toulouse sometimes.
So Joan took her in, and that is where she is currently living. Another dog that did not get along with Ari's existing dogs was the next one she got in July 2014. She bought a Shiba Inu puppy and named him Fawkes after a Harry Potter character. She posted him all over social media, but she did have to rehome him because he wasn't getting along with her other dogs.
She's in good hands, and we'll get to see her soon. When I get back to LA, we're gonna have a play date. But not with the other dogs, because they would fight.
The next dog she got was in December 2014, and this dog was a little more compatible with her other dogs than Fawkes was. She adopted a pit bull mix called Cinnamon, and from what we saw, she was one of the more chill Ariana animals, and got along with all of her other dogs. It wasn't long until Cinnamon had another dog to get along with, because in January 2015, Ari got another one. She got a poodle mix who she named after a Harry Potter character, Sirius Black. At the time she got Sirius, her tour, the honeymoon tour, was just about to start, so she took him, as well as Toulouse, with her on this tour. Ari's mum and brother also joined her on this tour, so while Ari was busy performing, her mum, brother, and team handled caring for the dogs. And moving throughout the different countries with the dogs wasn't as easy as they thought. At one point in the tour, they were in France and were trying to cross over into the UK on a cross-channel ferry. They were doing this in tour buses, and Ariana and her brother Frankie were in one bus, and their mother Joan was in another, with the dogs. Ari and Frankie in their bus were able to pass the entry point with no problems, but Joan and the dogs got stopped. Joan talked about the whole ordeal in an extended tweet on Twitter. It all started with the dogs not being allowed to be in a bus. Then the dogs needed to be in crates. Then she needed to buy the dogs tickets, but didn't have any money. With the help of good Samaritans around her, she was able to find solutions to all of those problems. That was until it came to the vaccination paperwork. Basically, they needed to get the dogs a whole bunch of vaccinations to travel overseas, which they did, but one particular vaccination they did not get until they were already on tour in Italy. So because that vaccination was not included in the original set of vaccinations the dogs got, the people at the ferry were making things difficult. Eventually, because there was really no way around it, Joan grabbed the dogs and made a run for Ari's tour bus. Police arrived and said that if they took the dogs into the UK, they would be killed upon arrival. So Frankie, Ari's brother, offered to go with the police with the dogs to try and sort things out. Apparently that was a 14-hour saga, but the dogs were eventually allowed into the UK. Ari also tweeted that what the ferry service did was unacceptable. The ferry was owned by P&O, and they responded to the situation with a statement simply saying that the documents presented were not valid to bring her pets into the UK. That traumatic experience for Joan must have bonded her and Sirius together because she ended up keeping him. So Joan owns two of Ari's former dogs, Sirius and Ophelia, who she both has to this day. The next dog Ari got was in October 2015 while she was still doing the honeymoon tour. She and her team arranged for the Animal Rescue Foundation of Tulsa to bring some rescue dogs to the place she was performing. 8 dogs were brought to the venue, and she chose one of them to keep. That was a Yorkshire Terrier named Strauss. She also paid the adoption fee for 20 dogs at the rescue.
I want to thank ARF Tulsa for bringing some wonderful rescue pups to the venue to say hi to me today. I'm sponsoring their adoption fee, so if any of y'all would like to take home a pup, just look on my Instagram and look for the information and take home a puppy that is in need of a home, and all the adoption fees will have already been taken care of, and you can give a puppy a loving home.
The same month she did that, she did a billboard photo shoot about rescuing dogs. She said her mission is to help homeless dogs find homes and people who will cherish them. The next time she gave a dog a home was when her mum gifted her a bloodhound as a early birthday present on June 6th, 2016.
What did you do for Ariana for her 23rd?
It's fabulous.
What did you get her?
What did I get her?
Yeah.
A dog.
A dog? What sort of dog?
You'll see on Instagram.
Can you tell me what sort of dog?
Sorry?
Can you tell me what sort of dog? A bloodhound.
At the time, they were in France because Ari was performing a one-off concert, and so she gave the dog a French name, Lafayette. And despite having previous issues getting dogs out of France, this time they had no problems bringing her back to the United States. And she was another one of Ari's dogs who was posted all over her social media and who her fans came to know and love. After that, Ari started dating Mac Miller, and in January 2017, he adopted a pit bull mix named Myron. During their relationship, Myron spent a lot of time with Ari and her other dogs, and after they broke up in May 2018, Ari continued to care for Myron. Joan, Ari's mum, confirmed a couple months later that Myron was Ari's dog when listing off her dogs on Twitter. But soon after their breakup, Ari started dating a guy named Pete Davidson, and that posed a couple of issues for her dogs. The first issue was that Pete lived in New York while Ari lived in California. And the second issue, and probably the biggest, is the fact that Pete is allergic to dogs.
But you're allergic, right?
Yeah.
Like really allergic?
Like my throat will close.
Anaphylactic?
Yeah.
No, we can't have
I
that.
have like an EpiPen.
Despite that, Ari moved to New York to be with Pete and left her dogs behind. They were being taken care of by friends, family, and being held at dog boarding facilities. But it wasn't long before she brought Toulouse and Myron with her to New York. It's unknown how they were able to make it work with Pete's allergies, but Ari was seen walking Myron and Toulouse in New York. While dogs couldn't be in Pete's immediate vicinity, Ari decided to get an animal that could be. She bought a mini pig called Piggy Smallz, who I'll talk about in more detail later on in the video. Ari shared an anecdote during her Sweetener Tour documentary about a messy living situation Myron and Piggy Smallz were in.
Myron gets diarrhea. Diane walks in and she steps on the shit and tracks it everywhere. So now there's shit everywhere. Piggy shits on the bed. Myron jumps up on the bed and eats Piggy's shit. I'm like picking up Piggy's shit as Myron's trying to eat it and throw it in the toilet.
Other than pooping everywhere, Myron was known for making a mess in other ways, like chewing the foam out of chairs.
Hey, Myron, what you doing? Working on your chair? Come on, close up. Gotta show you. Oh, this is Myron's chair. Welcome to my house. I'm a pop star. This is what all my furniture looks like. Thank you, baby. You're a good boy. A good boy. That's what good boys do. That was a good boy. Good boy. Don't worry, I got another chair over here. Come on, let's see what this chair looks like. Come on. More chairs here. Don't worry about it, guys. Check it out. Look at this side. Don't worry about it. I got it covered. I'm an adult. Grown-up stuff.
But like Toulouse, Myron was later able to be considered a service dog. Myron is Ari's other dog, who is still actively a part of her life on a regular basis. He travels with her and appears on her social media. She even got a tattoo for Myron. During her relationship with Pete, she got his dad's firefighting badge number tattooed on her foot, but when they broke up, she got it covered up with Myron's name. Then just a couple of months after Myron came into Ari's life, in March 2017, Joan surprised Ari with a dog on her tour. The dog was a little Chihuahua mix she named Pignoli. The dog was so small and fast that once he was able to escape and end up in her neighbor's house.
One time, Pignoli ran away so fast that he ended up on my neighbor's bed. My neighbor is far as well, really far.
So that brings the tally to 10 dogs. But as I said, we know that 3 dogs got rehomed: Fawkes, Sirius, and Ophelia. And we know Toulouse and Myron are still with her because we see them on social media. So that leaves 5 dogs: Coco, Cinnamon, Strauss, Lafayette, and Pignoli somewhat unaccounted for. She has property both in New York and California and spends time every year in each state, but is always traveling for work and most recently spent a lot of time living in the UK filming the Wicked movies. So understandably, she isn't able to bring the dogs and doesn't want to put them through the traveling process.
How many dogs do you have?
I have a lot.
You
but
have like 4 or 5, no?
I have a lot more than that, but they don't like to travel, so
Yes.
I would never make, all my dogs. So 2 of them stay with me at all times, but I do have like 8 that I take care of.
So even though Ari isn't in her dogs' lives as much as she once was, it sounds like they're being well looked after and she is funding their care. So she very much still has ownership of them, and 8 months ago she did post a picture of Coco to her Instagram story, and she talked about her dogs, specifically Lafayette, in a recent interview.
Got a range of small and big rescues of many different shapes and sizes, but they're all teddy bears to me. Some of them are
teddy bear.
Yeah, Lafayette, who's over 115 pounds, is still a teddy bear. Yeah.
What breed?
She's a bloodhound.
But when the dogs aren't being looked after by someone on her team, some of them spend time at a dog boarding facility. Sometimes these facilities will upload photos of the dogs they're looking after so that the owner can see, and Strauss, Lafayette, Pignoli, and Coco have all been sighted at a boarding facility. They have spent various amounts of time at this place since 2019. Cinnamon is the only dog who hasn't been boarded there, but a fan attended a meet and greet with Ari and actually asked about her pets. If this fan is to be believed, Ari told them that when she isn't with them, Coco, Cinnamon, and Lafayette are somewhere together. So when Coco and Lafayette are being boarded, there must be alternative arrangements for Cinnamon for whatever reason. Alternate arrangements did have to be made for 2 of Ari's other dogs that I have not mentioned yet. So Ari suffers with anxiety, depression, and panic attacks, and dogs really help her with it.
My little therapy farm. It's true. We almost came home with 17 more dogs today. No, honest to God.
As I've already talked about, she loves to get dogs while on tour and bring dogs on tour. One time she even flew Myron and Toulouse on a private jet to be with her on tour. So dogs seem to help her with the stressful environment of being on tour. During her Sweetener tour in July 2019, she had a stop in Denver in the United States, and while she was there, she adopted a male and female bloodhound puppy. She named those puppies after Harry Potter characters Lily and Snape. For a moment, she posted them all over social media, and then they vanished. They were sent to the dog boarding facility, and not to just have a short stay there, but to live there. They got a lot of attention from the staff there, but since puppies usually have a lot of energy, they channeled all of their energy into being destructive. As puppies do, they pulled apart the room wherever they were being held, which I'm sure this facility is used to dealing with. But when they were a little bit older and a lot bigger, they were eventually allowed to visit Ari's house. She posted them on her Instagram story, tagging her best childhood friend, and said, "We missed our children's entire childhood." And then after that, she would continue to miss them growing up because she sent them back to the boarding facility. During that time, she would continue to board her dogs there, but they would get to go home while Lily and Snape remained. I managed to reach out to a former worker of this place, and they said that Lily and Snape lived there pretty much the entire time they worked there. This business does offer a pickup and drop-off service, and it attempted to bring the dogs back to Ari, but they were told, no, take them back. They're too much. Ari unfortunately didn't want the dogs anymore and left it up to the boarding facility to rehome them. The dogs ended up being taken in by a staff member there, who by that point had already spent a lot of time with them, trained them in certain things, and grown attached. Snape later required some pretty serious emergency surgery, so a GoFundMe was started, but not long after it was started, it was cancelled, and anyone who donated received a refund. The reason for that was because a private donor came forward outside of the GoFundMe and paid for all of Snape's medical expenses. After the surgery, Snape recovered well and was able to come home from the vet a lot sooner than expected. All in all, Lily and Snape seem to have really good lives. Their owner also has a few other dogs, and they've fit really well in with the rest of them. So Lily and Snape are able to get specific attention and love from one person, and also get to play around with a bunch of other dogs. So everything seems to have worked out for the best. But yeah, that's pretty much everything for Ari's dogs. She did recently say she had 8 dogs though.
2 of them stay with me at all times, but I do have like 8 that I take care of.
When technically she does only have 7, so she either got another dog without telling anyone, or she just got genuinely mixed up.
Do you have 8?
I lost count a long time ago.
Okay, got it.
Or she was counting her pet pig in the dog count. So in 2018, she very suddenly decided to get a pet mini pig with her boyfriend at the time, Pete.
You bought a pet?
Yeah, we got a pig.
You got a pig. Yo, can I just say, like, this girl, like, she was like, I want a pig. And then an hour later, it was just there.
And it may have been her impulsive purchase that caused her to overlook the fact that pigs are illegal in New York, where she was living at the time. But that did not stop her from making an Instagram account for her and naming her Piggy Smallz. Piggy was gaining a lot of attention on social media, and one fan pointed out she was breaking the law. Ari replied saying saying she's an emotional support animal and she needs her. Piggy was then featured in a lyric video of hers and also was an accessory for an Ari character on a video game, but despite being so ingrained in her brand, Piggy began to not be seen as much, and people were concerned.
However, there's a lot of concern at the moment on social media about the well-being of Piggy Smallz. So it's been a while since we've seen her, and you know, Piggy's Instagram was blowing up at one point, but now she hasn't posted on Instagram since January. That's like 6 months, people, and fans are freaking out.
Glimpses of Piggy were few and far between, but it did appear as though Ari still had her and was keeping her in her house. Ari's fans would often call Piggy Bacon, which was a joke that Ari participated in before.
Come on, Toulouse. You gotta be excited to see Piggy. What's that? Bacon?
But ultimately she didn't like it and chose not to show her as much for that reason.
Where's the pig? I love this question. Piggy's here. She's great. She's really doing so well and life is really good for her right now. She's really thriving and doing her thing, and I make her big salads every day that she really likes. She's doing really great. She asked me to stop posting her as much because she's actually really offended by a lot of your jokes that you make on Twitter. She asked me to have a word with you guys. She doesn't like the jokes about being eaten. They really hurt her.
Then Ari got a role in the Wicked movies, which were being filmed overseas, and Piggy could not be brought on the plane. In late 2020, she started an animal rescue called Orange Twins Rescue with friends who were also twins, Brian and Scott Nicholson. They rescue and rehome dogs and cats and also have a bunch of farm animals which are permanent residents at the rescue. Piggy Smallz also ended up being one of those permanent residents.
Where is Piggy? Is she okay? Piggy is with the twins right now, and she is being taken such good care of, and she is happy, healthy, and thriving. Brian makes her the most beautiful dinners, and they're taking such good care of her. She's very happy. I miss her a lot.
They haven't posted any pictures of Piggy being at the rescue, but hopefully she's doing well. Piggy wasn't the only farm animal that Ari got though. In 2016, she got 2 goats and named them Mari and Heir. She locked them in a room in her house and put some hay on the floor.
Hey guys, just saw my pet goat suck his own dick.
Ari, did you suck your own dick today? You know that you accomplished what most men on earth wish they could do today?
When she got them, she FaceTimed singer Troye Sivan to show them to him.
Goats? She's got pet goats? Pet goats.
I've seen that on the Instagram story.
And she just FaceTimed me to introduce me to her goats.
As much as she loved goats, keeping them inside of her house was not working, so she rehomed them to a friend of hers who had a farm. But yeah, that's pretty much everything for Ari's pets. Thank you so much for watching. Let's take a moment of silence for all of the animals currently in shelters waiting to find a forever home. And I will see you in my next video.